Welcome to the live, everyone. Tap in. It's already 8:41. Getting a little late. Won't be live for too long here. Don't like going live too late. But I just wanted to tap into a subject real quick. Uh, Concerning whether or not incarcerated people, if you will, can find religion in prison, find God in a real way. Because, a lot of people believe that prisoners, inmates, convicts, incarcerated people, hey, what's up, Reborn? What up, Debo? Reborn Debo. A lot of people, thanks for, welcome to the live. Thanks for tapping in. A lot of people believe that people go to jail and or prison and all of a sudden become religious, and that this is just, falsities on their part, that they're being fake, that they're doing this just to get out of prison, that they find God, they become Muslims, devout Christians, or what have you. You'll see them walking around the yard toting the Bible or the Quran. And some people think that this is all a ploy, a ruse to get out of prison, that these people are not really religious, that they came to prison for a dastardly crime, committed some sort of crime that led them to prison probably for a long time. They've been in prison for a long time before they decided to become religious. They've been in there for 20 years already, what have you. And oftentimes were violent in prison. Since they've been in prison, they're in prison for a violent crime. And since they have been in prison, they have committed yet more violent crimes early on during their prison stay. But then 17, 18 years down the line, you see some of these individuals and they are now very religious and they believe in God. And they turned in their flag. They no longer gangbang, and they believe in God now, and they say, hey, I changed my life. So, I don't know. Do you think that this is even possible? Are these individuals real? Now, I have seen some individuals go to prison and become religious, and they stuck to it even when they got out. They really changed their lives. When they got out, they were preaching. Some of them even went back to the prison to, preach there and try to help change lives and what have you. So it does happen. Everyone is not faking. Some of these individuals go there to prison, become religious, and they're serious about their religion. They no longer gangbang. They're very religious, and they're very serious about their religion, and they're very serious about their prayer and everything else, the whole nine. And again, it's not a ruse, it's not a ploy, it's for real. But then some individuals I have had to question myself, at least to myself, does he have an ulterior motive for being so religious, right now? After being so violent, but again, some people can't. You can change your lives. You can change your life. You can change your ways. You could have been violent at one point, and you're no longer violent in that way. You grow out of this stuff, and that happens. And, so who am I to judge? But what do you all think? Can people go to prison for a violent crime or some other dastardly crime find God there in prison, find religion, and change their life, change their ways. They're no longer violent, or they're no longer predators because of God. Do you believe this? Or is this just a ploy? Hit the like button if you're here in the live. Welcome to the live, everyone. Welcome to the Inside Story with Damian Porter. Peace, Terrence. Oh, what's up, Angie? That's right, Angie. Angie said that you can find God anywhere, Angie said. And if that's where they find God at in prison, then good for them. Wherever you can find him at, fine, because he doesn't look for you. She said God doesn't look for you. You have to look for him. Yes, strong statement, powerful statement. Big Game 7 said ain't no saints in prison. Well, that's true, but there's not really any saints anywhere. There are no saints in prison. Guess where else there are no saints at? In church. There are no saints in church. You know, oftentimes the preacher, the pastor, has skeletons deep inside of his closet. You know, none of us are perfect. We are all imperfect. And the ones who oftentimes pretend to be perfect are the ones who are doing, you know, committing the most heinous crimes behind the scenes. We see it all the time in the churches, you know, with them touching on little boys and such, scheming and scamming the members. These are people who are highly religious and point their blood-soaked finger at others and others' shortcomings. I'm just saying. Welcome to the live, everyone. Hit the like button. We're just talking about, can individuals go to prison and find religion there honestly, earnestly, in truth, and mean it, stick with it when they come home, really change their lives? Can God reach people in prison and change their lives, I guess would be the question. Is God that powerful that you believe that he can redeem someone even there in prison who has committed, you know, one or more dastardly crimes, violent crimes, heinous crimes, but is now seeking or did seek to change his life, and then, according to him, found God and did indeed change his life? Is this possible? What's up, sister? My sister made it to the live. He redeemed Malcolm. There you go. Who said that? Corey Gibson said he redeemed Malcolm, talking about God. Indeed, he did. Thank you, Super Mac Time. How was it like on that 184-yard Fly Guy Axe? I have plenty of videos on it. I refer you to my prior content. I just made a video. I just dropped it for my members only for right now, but it's going to drop for the public tomorrow at 1. I scheduled it for tomorrow at 1. And it's about this fight that Young Hawk had with Infant Coop from 60s. Oh, man. I hope people ain't going to be mad after this video, but I have a feeling they will be, bro. C Red, what up, young homie? Welcome to the live. Appreciate you, young bro. C Red said it's possible. It's possible for someone to find religion. I'm sure he means yes, absolutely. I've seen it. I've seen it happen, homie. You know, I have seen it happen. I've also seen some fakers. Yeah, Fly Guy, it is crazy. It is crazy what goes on in there. But I'm learning now about prisons out of state, out of California, and like I may watch another YouTube channel. It may pop up on my timeline, on my feed, a prison channel, and they're talking about prison where they're at, Alabama, Virginia, all this sort of stuff, Chicago, and how it is not the same as the prisons out here in California. How they have seen, I guess, other YouTube channels about prisons out here in California and see the politics out here, and their stories are totally different. And what they say happens out there in those prisons are totally different than what happens in these prisons in California, where it's very segregated, ultra violent, ultra racial. That they get along better in some of these places out of state, even there in prison. The black and the Hispanics get along better in some of these other places. It's not as violent amongst one another in some of these other places as it is in California, or even amongst the gangs, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just not as bad. It's not as political, because in California, everything is political, everything is violent, and everything is racial in one way or another. It's segregated, particularly on these level 4 yards. You hit a level 2 yard or whatever, not so much. Yeah, for sure, Red. See, Red. Yeah, some of them have hid behind religion. See, Red said. Yeah, and you've also seen homies turn Islam. Absolutely. Some hide behind religion for their own reason. Those are the ones who are not being true, not being authentic, and it may come back on them. But again, I must say I have seen some individuals become very religious. My cousin was one of them. Is still one of them. Turned Muslim, and I mean, it's been a Muslim for decades now, and is serious about it. So some, they end up fighting for God and believing in God as much or more than they believed in their gain and was fighting for their gain. Now that's how they feel about God and their religion, and they will defend themselves and defend their God and defend their religion. They really become serious about it. Welcome to the live, everyone. Hit the like button. Mule Creek Prison. Mule Creek. I don't know. I know Suge Knight was there. Mule Creek, that was like a level 3 or something back in the days. I don't know what it's doing now. I think maybe some PC people are up there. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never been to Mule Creek. I can't say too much about it. The term, what do I feel about this term slave religion? What's the slave religion? Christianity, I suppose you're saying? That's what they was teaching during slavery. Well, I don't know. I don't really hear that term often. So, but I'm assuming that that's what you're referring to, but I don't hear that term often. Do you sometimes lose your mind in prison? Yeah. Yes, you can lose your mind in prison. You lose your damn mind. You have to be careful. You have to be strong. You have to be emotionally strong, spiritually strong, mentally strong. You have to get up every day and decide that that you're gonna push forward that day, that you're gonna be all right, that you're gonna make it. Hit the like button if you're in this live, everyone. Not gonna be in this live for nothing more than 3 or 4 minutes. Let's say I get out of here at 9. It's 8:56. Hit the like button if you're in the live. We just talking about people who are going to prison and finding religion. Thank you for joining the live, everyone. Welcome to the Inside Story with Damian Porter. And some people do it. Some people do make it. Some people do, become religious in prison. I seen Amber. I'm sorry, Amber. I missed your comment, but I did see you in there, and I missed a damn comment. Uh, yeah, I mean, to each his own. Some people become religious, as I said, and they put down their weapons in prison. They come in there and preach to you. They're serious about it. Like I said, they're serious about it. They try to convince you to become religious. Just in the same way that people will try to convince you to join their gang or whatever, and be persuasive as they're convincing you, making a cogent, coherent, argument as to why you should join their ranks. The religious people are the same way when they become very religious in prison and they're serious about it. They would then preach to you about putting down your flag and being violent towards one another and instead joining the religion, and that God will protect you there in prison as opposed to your gang. And they serious about that. They push that. Do I do I really see whites with racist tattoos? Well, yeah. In prison, yeah. They got it everywhere. They got swastikas on their face, on their neck, uh, all that. They got tattoos of Hitler. Them motherfuckers be serious up in there on that level folio. Yeah. Real skinheads. I mean, it's not a game. Is there a safe place there for all religions? Do they fight over religion? My sister asks. No, the religions they don't necessarily fight against one another. The religions they're cool. They don't fight. They don't fight against one another. They don't typically fight against one another. They get along. Everyone respects everyone's religion, and everyone has enough, stuff to worry about there in prison other than fighting each other. The master race. Who was that? Oh, I've read the Quran. Okay. Everybody about to start tripping now. Okay. It's not really necessarily a religious conversation. We just want to know if people go to prison and find religion in earnest. Or are these people faking the funk, the 42 fake up the middle? That's what we're trying to figure out. And I'm just here to offer that some people, I've seen it with my own two eyes, they earnestly, honestly find religion there in prison. They honestly stop gangbang. They change their lives. Just like people out on the street change their lives and find God, find religion later on in their lives or whatever. They clean up their act. They stop using or stop abusing in some way. And they change. The hope, the aspiration is to evolve as a human being, period. And, and sometimes that happens later on in life through life experience. And that's when you begin to change. So prison is no different. You've been sitting in prison, as I said, it's at the 17, 18, 19, 20 years, because they have evolved now. They're done with the nonsense. That's it. Hit the like button, everyone. Welcome to the live. Thank you, Corey Gibson, for the super chat, for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Some didn't find it. Shit got real, and they went back to it. Shit got real. Lady Thomas said this shit got real. They went back to religion, yeah. What did I think when Young Hawk went at the Hoover General? That it wasn't a good move. I don't think he was thinking at the time that he had made those comments either. He got the video taken down. I wouldn't have did it. I mean, you have to think before you speak here on this internet. I believe that it was ill-advised. Yeah, people do evolve. Yeah, for sure. Big game. Yeah, damn right. Herb changed it a few times behind those walls. Yes, a religious crip. What? Did you see Nazi lowriders in prison? Yes, they're all in prison. Everybody's in prison. Every gang you can think of really are in prison, from every race. Blacks in there, Crips, Bloods, you name it. Southsiders, Norteños, Bulldogs, everybody's been in that motherfucker, man. Been around everybody. Welcome to the live, everyone. We just talking about prison, and can people go to prison and change their lives? Can they become religious? Can they honestly find God and change their lives there in prison? And keep it going when they get out. Stay religious, stay preaching, stay virtuous, stay drug-free, abuse-free, abusing people-free. Can they live out what they found there in prison, what they started talking about there in prison? Will they get out and continue this behavior, this positive behavior, or will they revert back to their old ways, the same things that led them to prison, as soon as things, let's say, begin to go wrong for them here on the street? That's the question. And I'm just here to say and offer again that I've seen both. I've seen people that are faking a funk, that they're straddling the fence and they're just playing. And I've also seen individuals who become religious and they mean just that. And so I just want to tap in with the Go Up movement. Thank you for joining the live, everyone. Everybody have a nice, good, safe night. Be strong, be positive, protect your peace. Disallow anyone to disturb your peace for any damn reason. And stay out of prison, stay free. And if you are religious, then believe in that, represent that, believe in what you believe in, and don't let anyone sway you otherwise. Have a good night. Stay free, people.